So I haven't played Pokemon since the good old days of Emerald, Sapphire, and Ruby on the Game Boy, so I knew right off the bat that this Nuzlocke challenge was not going to be easy. First off, I decided to pick the most brown Pokemon trainer I can find, cause even though I do sound white, I'm about as brown as they come. I then proceeded to name my trainer Uchiha like the true anime nerd I am, and was finally ready to start my legendary Nuzlocke journey. I felt a wave of nostalgia run through me and I instantly felt like I was home after being introduced to the world of Pokemon after 10 long years. I listened as the crowd roared for their champion, the almighty Leon with his big beautiful brown eyes. And standing behind him a godlike Charizard, I knew I was in for a hell of a ride. Then Charizard turned really enormous and Pokemon Shield, I guess? Next thing I know, I'm sitting on my phone watching Two Girls One Cup, minding my own business, and some asshole rings on the doorbell and interrupts me. I was really embarrassed to see that it was my friend Hop, so I had to lie to him and tell him I was watching his big brother Leon's exhibition match. I then go on to make my way over to Hop's house, but not before my mother reminds me to grab my backpack, which was handed down to me by my father, who is nowhere to be seen. When I finally walk outside of my house, I see Hop, and he for some reason wants to race all the way to his house, and before I can even agree, he just runs off. When I finally get there, he says we have to go somewhere else so that we can meet his big brother Leon, and that's when I knew going on an adventure with this kid was gonna be a pain in the ass. But after I was introduced to Leon, I finally got to choose my starter Pokemon. After thinking long and hard about which Pokemon would help me the most in this Nuzlocke journey, I had to go with my heart and pick the grass type Grookey. So Hop decides to challenge my Grookey to a battle, to which I completely shut him down with the move Branch Poke, which by the way is super effective. Okay, now the Nuzlocke journey has officially begun, and I encounter my first Pokemon, to which I was so happy to realize that I did not have any Pokeballs, because I definitely did not want to catch a Squirtle for my first Pokemon, so I just proceed to run away like a coward. After hours of running into a Pokemon I couldn't even catch, we ran into a legendary beast. I forgot his name, but any move we used had no effect on him, not even Branch Poke, which I destroyed Hop with. All of a sudden we disappear into a mist of fog, but thankfully our big, beautiful, brown-eyed master Leon saves us. Before Hop and I continue to go over to Wedgehurst, I of course have to let my overprotective mother know first. When I got there, I met my beautiful waifu named Sonia, who made me forget all about Zero Suit Samus. I was so nervous and trying so hard to impress her that when she asked me if I knew about Pokemon, I just said you bet, even though I didn't know jack shit. After that, Hop and I make our way to the gym challenge, and once again, Leon appears out of fucking nowhere. I'm starting to get real creeped out by this guy. I was going to confront him about it, but he actually gave us 20 Pokeballs each, so I let it slide. Now, I get to catch my first Pokemon, but according to the Nuzlocke challenge, the rules are that I only get to catch one Pokemon per area, so I had to think wisely. And yeah, by think wisely, I meant that I caught the first Pokemon I saw, but what can I say, I'm actually into electric types. Alright, so I'm still making my way to the gym challenge, and on the way I get challenged by 3 douchebags, all of which I fucking destroyed. Alright, I can't even lie, I had some trouble with young Benjamin, but I don't want to talk about that. So we chat up with Professor Magnolia for a bit, and then Hop challenges me again, and I kick his ass for the 100th time. I really think someone needs to start drug testing this kid, because he just can't stop moving and yelling, "I will be the greatest trainer ever, I will be the..." Okay guys, time to get serious. I did in fact make it to the first gym leader, but since this was my first ever Nuzlocke run in any game ever, this was pretty difficult for me. There were many times where I thought I was done for, and I almost was, so let's recap on what happened. When I had to run through the wild and rainy area so that I could get to the gym, I unfortunately ran into a Bugglebee, so I had no other choice than to catch it. I ran into a couple scary Pokemon that I had no chance of beating, so you can bet that I hauled ass the first chance I got. I should also mention that my dumbass forgot to train the Pokemon I already had before going into the wild and rainy area. So everything's going good, you know. I make it to the gym safely, I defeat a couple punk rock stars who thought they were hot shit, I made my number 69 like the very mature person I am. So the next part is to go to Route 3. So before I do this, I stack up on potions, and I also go back to the wild rainy area so that I can catch a Pancham. The reason I didn't do it before is because I thought that my Grookey was too weak to take on a Pancham, so I didn't think I would be able to catch one successfully, and also I wasn't sure if the wild area consisted of 2 areas, the top area and the bottom one. But I made things a little easier for myself and I counted it as 2 areas just because it does have 2 names, so why not? So I stack up on potions and I'm ready to go to Route 3, and before I enter, Hop challenges me again. Like, please dude, just give up already. It's not gonna happen. Anyways, I go into Route 3 and with my shitty luck, once again, I run into a Glossifer and what do? I have to catch it. So far I was doing pretty fine. Most of the trainers on Route 3 were pretty easy. I ran into a couple schoolboys and even a mailman, which was a little bit creepy. But this is when things took a bad turn, and this is why you should always be confident but never cocky. I walk into a cave and started destroying every single nerd who walked into my path. I started roaring of laughter when this nerd pulled out a level 13 Soul Assist, but I instantly shit my pants when my evolved Grookey got hit with the move that was super effective on him and made him lose 40 HP. So I pull out the little panda bear and I'm thinking, you know, maybe he can handle this Pokemon, this Soul Assist. But no, the same shit happens. And he actually ends up fainting, so he's gone. He's out. But here's the part where I'm glad I picked up an electric type. With my other Pokemon being very low on HP, I pull out my electric type and quickly eliminate the Soul Assist, who is pretty low on HP as well. Next, the trainer pulls out a goth looking Pokemon, so I do what electric types do best, paralyze. I got a couple extra moves and I had enough time to feed Grookey a super potion and was able to pull him out without my electric type dying, surviving at just 4 HP. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't relying on double hit to get me out of that sticky situation. Alright, so we're in the clear now. All I have to do is go through all these gym missions and we're ready to fight the gym leader. But here's the part where you guys might start to hate me. So I ended up reviving the cute little panda bear, but he ended up not even being useful while I was fighting the gym leader, and you'll see why. So I pull up to the gym leader and I can't help but give a little chuckle. I was always told not to judge a book by its cover, but come on. And so the battle begins. My heart's racing, my palms are sweaty.
These weak arms are heavy, there's vomit on his sweater already. Monster.
Right off the bat, he pulls out his Glossy and I pull out my Grookey. All I could think of at the moment was shit's about to go down, and I was right. Shit did go down. I completely annihilated Glossy, but I'd be lying if I said they didn't put up a hell of a fight, and that was only the beginning. And now I'm about to tell you why people always say brains always beats muscles. So right after I defeat the Glossy, what I do is I pull out my Pancham. The gym leader then takes out his next Pokemon and he uses some wicked spell to make him very OP. I totally knew this was gonna happen and that none of my Pokemon were gonna stand a chance against that. I knew I had to make a sacrifice, so I decided to sacrifice my Pancham because I was never supposed to have him in the first place because he died earlier, and I decided to sacrifice my Glossy because I couldn't care less about her. Or him, I don't know. I had a huge sigh of relief when the gym leader's Pokemon Dynamax was over. Although I was out of double hits, the rest of the battle went down with ease. I had enough super potions to keep me going, and since we were both grass types, I just relied on the move Scratch. With all my hard work and dedication, I had finally earned the grass badge that I deserved. I felt so relieved that my journey was finally over. But then I realized, I have 7 more gyms to go.